I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and sustainable. And I thought I'd show you some snippets of my week. It's just real life frugal living. And one thing you'll notice, I think, is that the kind of frugal living that I'm doing now, that I don't have to work for somebody else and that I'm self-employed, is different to what I used to do when I was full-time self-employed, because I have more time now and have more flexibility. So I do appreciate some of you watching this won't have that time and flexibility, but some things you can kind of fit into your life, some things you may not be able to. And to my mind anyway, if you're working full-time, you shouldn't have to be as frugal as I have to be. So I know a lot of people do have to. That seems to be the way of the world at the moment. But anyway, I won't get into all of that. I'll just show you some bits and bobs what I've been up to over the last few days and real frugal living. So this is an interesting meal, so I thought I'd just share this with you. So it's rice with chard, and it's going to be with these buttered cashew nuts. It's from the Abel and Cole book that I showed in my video the other day, but I thought I'd just show you this. So you put this buttery mess all over your rice, which has got a bit of chilli in it, but it didn't have a fresh chilli because I didn't have any ready yet from the garden. So I just put some powdered chilli in, so it doesn't taste very chillish, and garlic and onion and lemon zest and juice. And then this on top. So interesting vegetarian dinner or side for anyone else. Mix that all together. And that's tea. I'm looking worn out. Couldn't sleep last night. So my initial thought with the chili chard rice and buttered cashews is that it needs something else. I'm going to put some grated parmesan on it. I feel like it just needs something else. I think if I'd used fresh chili, it would be better. But it just feels like it needs to be a main course. It needs something else. It's a side dish. Perfect. So me and Archie are surrounded by mess today, absolute mess. We just got back from our walk. I've got stuff everywhere. This is stuff that I'm halfway through listing. I've got to get finished today. Stuff that I haven't even started listing over there. Some pictures, actually some of these little pictures are going to go on the wall here. Got my laptop out and my budget book because it's the end of the month and I need to go through my budget. Archie has just been pulling the throw apart on the sofa and I've just left it like that. So it's all a big mess. I've got more mess next door. I've got photographs happening. So today I need to get organised. Last minute dog walk last night. I picked up this for free. It's well out of date. It's very tough, but I'm going to use it for a bread pudding and maybe make some breadcrumbs for the freezer. The other thing that was free outside that house was this. I don't know if somebody started doing oleo. I'm really hoping they might have, because nobody's doing oleo. I'll have to check to see if anyone's taken it on. It was just piles of bread and 3 pots of parsley, which I don't really need because I'm growing parsley, but I thought I'll pot that up and put it with my basil inside. And yeah, it's a shame to leave it. But the bread, I'm going to cut some lumps off now for my breakfast because the middle bit seems all right and it'll be fine toasted. So I'm going to use it. And then I'm going to cut the rest up and soak it in some milk, ready to be made into a nice bread pudding. So the weather's much better now. It's kind of warmish, but not hot. And it's not dry, it's dry. I think we're going to get some rain tomorrow, but it's good today. So from me and Archie's point of view, this is perfect. From the parents whose kids have just gone on summer holidays, it's probably not quite so perfect. Today's okay, but the rainy days, it's typical, isn't it? We had a heat wave all that time and now they've gone on summer holidays, it started raining. Anyway, so today is one of those days where I just need to get organised. As I say, I've got lots of mess everywhere. I'm in the middle of lots of jobs and I kind of left them all yesterday and ran out of steam. So I'm going to finish them all today, get myself organised. But I also, as I was out, when I go dog walking with Archie, I always take this old Co-op bag because you can fold it up and stick it in your handbag. And I often pick things up for free around here. People give stuff away. And this morning I got some interesting books. So I got this one. It looks like it has never, ever been opened. rough trade, and it's just kind of the history of the record label. And I thought that looks really interesting. And I think that might go in my gift box for somebody for Christmas, because I think Justin might even like that. Because I pick up books for the girls and Justin as I go along. Quite often they're free. Sometimes they're in the charity shop. And I'll if I see them, I'll think, right, I'll put them in the gift box, because we tend to have this tradition of buying each other secondhand books for Christmas. So I picked up this one, which is a thriller called Magpie by Sophie Draper. Never read anything of hers. It looks good, actually. Claire lives with her family in a beautiful house overlooking the water, but she feels as if she's married to a stranger, one who is leading a double life. So she runs away from her husband, and that's that one. So one of the girls, they like a thriller. I might even read it myself. This is good. The Art of Creative Thinking. Well, 2 of my 3 daughters work in kind of social media, doing creative stuff, writing and making social media campaigns and things like that. So creative thinking, well, I think anyone might like that. It's got a little bit of a coffee stain. I'm going to wipe that off. Again, it doesn't really look like somebody spent a lot of time reading it. I think that might have been a gift that was a fail, a bit like the Rough Trade book. And then another thriller, Never Tell by Lisa Gardner. I have read some of Lisa Gardner's, but I can't think what. Pretty sure it's not this. But we all like, well, me and Izzy particularly, but and Becky really like a thriller. Probably not so much Chloe, but she'll possibly read that. So this is probably not for her. A man is shot dead in his own home, and his pregnant wife Evie is found with a gun in her hands. Detective D.D. Warren instantly recognises her. 16 years ago, Evie also shot her own father. ... I think that might be one I read first, although I have the biggest pile of books to read, so maybe not. But yeah, so these are all things probably for my gift box. So for free, I've got a few things for Christmas, and it is the end of July. It's not even quite August yet. It probably will be by the time you see this, but I'm already thinking about Christmas, because I really don't like Christmas to be a big financial headache. So I'm going to, even more so this year, I'm going to get back to what I used to do when the girls were little, which was I'd buy all year. I'd literally buy for Christmas all year if I saw presents for anybody. They were much easier to buy for in those days, because it was toys, and I kind of knew what they liked and what they had. But now, obviously, they're independent women, and I don't always know what they want. So I'm going to start asking them. I'm asking them already. So yeah, so I'm preparing. So I think it's a good idea, particularly if you find Christmas, you want to join in and you want to buy presents for people, but you don't have a big budget, and you don't want to have that kind of January anxiety where you realise you've overspent. And we've all had that, haven't we? Let's face it. So, getting started now, buying food bits, buying, if you send cards, I'm going to tend to get those in the sales. And I've got lots of cards still from over the years when I bought them reduced. Wrapping paper, I don't use a lot of wrapping paper now, but I've got gift bags you could get yourself, or make yourself, even better if you've got a sewing machine, reusable gift bags from charity shop fabric, or fabric you've really got. You could just do it on a budget. Just be determined to do it on a budget and do it kind of sustainably is the other thing I like doing. So I like secondhand stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go and get on, have my toast, have some coffee and do some listing. Something else I got free yesterday was these golden courgettes. And although I'm growing courgettes, my courgettes have been very slow. I keep thinking they're going to really take off because we've had rain and then the plants themselves got really big, but they're still not being very productive. I don't really know why. So I saw these and I thought these would be great for stuffing. And I was going to do like a spaghetti bolognese tomorrow for Justin and just a veggie one for me. So actually I'm going to do, with the minced beef for him, I'm going to do stuffed courgettes, and I'll do myself a veggie version. And I think that, well, that'll be 2 of those done. But aren't they lovely? I might grow these next year. Very good. Right, so I've made my yoghurt. Just put it in, still steaming, in my Wonder bag, and I'll leave that for 5 or 6 hours, and then that'll be ready for my breakfast tomorrow. So this is what I'm doing with my bread. I've actually eaten about 4 slices of it. Toasted was absolutely fine. But I'm going to make 2 lots of bread pudding. One for here and one for Justin's mum's, although she won't probably eat it. She's really not very well at all. But people caring for her and visiting will no doubt eat it. So yeah, so I've actually also used to soak it this because it's out of date and I need to use it. So anything like that, where I need milk, and it doesn't matter what it tastes like because actually it's horrible, that milk. Made up into milk is really vile. It's right in cooking. Then I'm just going to use it for things like this. So I'm going to leave that to soak for a bit and then I'll get on with the rest of it. I actually put it all together in one big bread pudding in the end, so I'll just chop it up. I haven't shown you how to make this because I've done a whole video about this one before. It's from the very old Cranks recipe book, which I use a lot. And I have the recipe on my blog, shoestringcottage.com, plus I have a whole video about it if you look. So yeah, I'm not going to show you exactly how to do it now, but it's a great way to use up stale bread, and I've managed to use some of that milk powder as well. Plus I had some mixed fruit, which has been hanging around a little while, so I've used some of that up as well. Check the date on that actually. Oh yeah, look, that expires next month. Just about to go into August tomorrow, so I really do need to use that. So it's just as well I've used it, some of it at least, in this bread pudding. So it's about to go in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour. So 45 minutes later, that is done. So I'm going to chop that up, have a cup of tea and eat a piece while it's still lovely and warm. Let's have a little taste. First thing I got was a big lump of lemon peel. This is my favourite recipe for bread pudding because it doesn't use suet. So it's much lighter than a lot of bread pudding recipes, which I find, particularly using beef suet, it's kind of goes very solid. Like the bread pudding you buy in Baker's, it's always rock solid and I don't enjoy it. But these ones I do like because they've got lots of fruit in them. I've got myself quite a large bit, but it's not very thick. Lots of fruit in them, and it has a good kind of moisture level, but it's not really heavy. So yeah, I'm going to eat that now. And then I'm going to go and finish doing what I've just started, which was sorting out and decluttering my little office because I want to start decorating it. And I've just got lots of things in there that I've got drawers, a chest of drawers that really I barely look in. So I clearly don't need the things that are in there. But I don't want to get rid of the chest of drawers because I'm actually going to get a much smaller desk because the desk is huge. It's a big IKEA desk that I got. I think I bought it on Facebook Marketplace. I don't think I got it for free. Quite some time ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And it's a great, lovely, solid desk, but it is really, really large. So it was perfect for the space I bought it for, but it doesn't really fit in my little office. So I want to get a much smaller desk, so I'm going to start looking out for that. And I'm also going to redecorate, as I say. So I've already got the paint. I've got some curtains that I think I picked up. I feel like they might have been free. Or perhaps they were Becky's old ones. I can't remember now, but I've had them for a while. She had some spare grey paint. I don't really love grey, but I thought, well, I might actually make an exception. It's quite a nice soft grey because it does go with pink, and I might bring some elements of pink into that little room. I need a new chair. The chair that I got was free on Freecycle. It's bright red, really grim and dirty looking. I think the cats have kind of sat in it and dribbled on it, as they do. And it's not very comfortable and it's very squeaky. So I'd like to get myself a decent chair and just sort it all out. Just sort everything out in there, sort out the storage, only have in there what I use, get some shelving up so that I can put my unlisted stock in a sensible place, because once it's listed, I wrap it up and I stick it in the garage. I've got a good filing system going on in there, but it's really just a mess. It's just like a pile of stuff. It's also the cat's room. It's where they have their dinner and where I keep the cat food, so I can organise that a bit better, I think, as well. So yeah, I'm not starting the decorating today. I'm going to just kind of declutter and sort it out so that when I am ready to start it, I can do it, probably when I haven't got this boy. I had to give him a bath this morning because he got very grubby on our walk. Anyway, get on with that. So this is the current state of play mid-tidy. So I've actually made it even untidier in order to tidy it up. So this is bits and pieces of unlisted stock, a bag of newspapers, which I use to line the litter tray. They can go somewhere else. Just a bag of like fabric, it's vintage fabric, but that's Justin cleared up from his mum's, and I don't even know if I can do anything with it. And a lava lamp that came from Justin's. Got my, be careful not to show you any addresses, my notice board. That's my book cover. I've got a printer that I can't get to work, which I really want to get to work because it actually, sometimes I do want to print documents. And then I've got my one, which is my labels, which is fantastic and works brilliantly. Just piles of books I keep just to write stuff down. I've got bits and pieces. This were from Mum and Dad's house that I thought about listing, but I actually quite like them. Justin took down the big old blind for me, which is now sitting in the hall because I want to put it on free cycle. I've just got piles of stuff that just sits on the windowsill. I need to do something. Piles of things like keeping envelopes, old envelopes for reuse. I've got a big load of receipts, postal receipts, my tax, my meal planner that I tend to use a piece of paper these days. Just stuff like old, more stock. Like I need to get someone to do these for me and see if they actually are any good. I've got piles of old receipts for my taxes. I've got big piles of my book, which I got too many. I've got some more down here. I got some to send out for review copies when I first published it and to maybe do promotional things like competitions, and I haven't used them all, so I need to do that. Things I want to, this is my dad's. My dad used to love, Laurel and Hardy, more Laurel and Hardy. So when I decorate, I want to put these are all Bosson's Laurel and Hardy heads, and I've got some pictures. I want to put them on in this room. These shelves are going to come down, and what I need is like a good shelf unit along here. This I will paint, I think, and put here because this rotten old plastic thing's falling apart. And the desk, as I say, it's great, it's big, but it ends up being a dumping ground for everything, and I don't use it because it's just, well, I do use it sometimes, but it's not very nice in here. So I don't want to think, oh, I must come and work in here. As I said to you, this is filthy and not comfortable. And you see, it's just all a big mess. I've got things like this picture that I've listed, but I don't know what to do with it. I've got to find a home for it. A big old original oil painting, bits of packaging. I've really got to sort something out. In the cupboard I've got more bits of stock, so that's where that picture will end up. Things I don't want to put in the garage, things like soft toys, and those are the curtains I mentioned that I got from Becky. Some grey curtains there. And I also have this ready to go on the wall. So I've just got some stuff. Oh, it's just a big mess and it's doing my head in, and I need to get organised. But as I say, it's even worse at the moment because I started pulling everything out of these drawers and the little plastic drawers to empty those out, and I've just made more mess. So now let's just get that sorted. So I've got to do that today, but I've got to go see Becky as well. So I don't know how I'm going to fit it all in. I've got to make a good start on it today. Let's put it that way. Picking the beans. I went yesterday and picked some, so there's not hundreds ready. Not ready. There's definitely some. Today's harvest. And that one. So I just got in, I had to come in actually because it suddenly decided to start pouring, which is good because it felt quite dry out there, and I was thinking it's supposed to rain today, but I'm going to have to go around and water. I will still have to go back and water the greenhouses. And I think maybe the tomatoes are slightly underwatering them. I only picked 4 today because I picked a load yesterday, but I've got a couple with this, which I think is a sign of not enough water. I may be wrong, I'm not an expert. But this is the thing about growing your own vegetables, you don't have to be an expert. I'm not an expert. I just muddle along, and this is what I've done sporadically on and off. So I never kind of give myself the opportunity. I never read enough around it to become any kind of expert. I'm not, but I muddle along and I still get this much food. So I've got 3 courgettes, a cucumber, those 4 tomatoes, but as I say, I picked loads yesterday, a good couple of handfuls of chard, and I love chard. It's so nice. It's just as a vegetable, just kind of chopped up and steamed. It's just really nice as a vegetable. I really like it. And I did put it in one of my recipes. You will have seen already the charred rice, which actually I have to say, going back to that, was really delicious. I think when I tasted it initially, I didn't get a kind of big mouthful of that buttery cashew nut thing that went on with all the butteriness, and that made it so delicious. It really elevated it. And then once I'd put parmesan on top, it made it really yummy. So I'd definitely be making that again, but I would put the chili in because I think that would lift it. This is my runner beans. So the runner beans, some of the plants are really doing well, are really healthy and are full of beans, and some others, not even the ones just on the ends, just aren't. Some of them have really shriveled up. They've started to develop and they've started to shrivel up. And I think, well, it can't be lack of water because I've really watered them a lot. The only times I haven't watered them is when we've had rain. And I don't understand it. And why is the plant next to them completely healthy looking? So I really don't understand it. I'm going to ask my friend Mickey because she is the font of all wisdom and grows probably 75% of her own food. So she will know what I've done wrong or what is happening there and what I need to do to resolve it. I'm not sure I can do anything to resolve it really. But yeah, she's very, very good. So I've got people I can ask. But my point is that if you've got a little bit of green space and you've got a little bit of time, I don't spend a lot of time in the garden really, then you can grow a little bit of your own food. And it is saving us money at the moment because I haven't bought any vegetables for about a month. So the only thing I bought was onions, because I haven't grown any onions. I haven't really got the space for it. Garlic. I'm trying to think if I bought anything else. Carrots. I think I bought some carrots because we didn't grow any carrots and I wanted them for some reason. And that literally is it. I bought fruit because we're not growing fruit. I do have a pear tree in the garden. It's very small. I think it produced 2 pears last year, so I'm hoping it might just produce a few more this year. And we've had a few raspberries. In my last garden, we had currant bushes galore. We got a lot of red currants and black currants and white currants even at one point. Plus we had more raspberries. So that was kind of better. So I need to establish that. Going back to Mickey, my friend, she has a lot of blueberries. So she has been growing them for a number of years. She did say her plants were about 20 odd years old. So they are so prolific and productive. But I would really like to get some blueberries because I love them. So if I can get blueberries, I would be delighted. So I'm going to get some plants and find somewhere to put those. But, you know, we don't have a massive garden. I don't want an allotment. It's too much of it's just too much time involved and I just don't really have the time. So I don't want to do that at this point in time. But I can grow a bit in the garden and it does make a difference. And it's also lovely, fresh organic vegetables. You can't really go wrong. Anyway, so this has been just a little bit of insight into an average few days in the life of a truly frugal person. So I am frugal. I don't live on much money. I don't have lots of spare cash. I am very fortunate because I have a paid off mortgage, so I don't have a big rent to pay or a big mortgage to pay. That does make a big difference. But I also don't have a very big income. So I just make the best of what I've got. So that's all I can say is just make the best of what you've got. Be creative in your frugal efforts. Be creative, be experimental, you know, have a go. I have a go at cooking. I always say, you know, I'm not any kind of expert cook when I do my frugal kitchen videos because I'm really not. I've cooked for a long time because I've been interested in food and I became vegetarian when I was 16 and my mum and dad weren't. So if I wanted food, I had to cook my own at that point because they weren't doing 2 meals when they were working. So I've always had to cook and that made me get interested in it. And then I had a family and obviously I cooked for them. I got them all cooking. I do have a partner that hates cooking, so I do all the cooking in our house now. But, I just have a go. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll experiment. Sometimes I'll make things up. Sometimes I'll try different old recipe books. Sometimes I'll see what's on the internet. And sometimes I'll just look in the cupboard and think, I've got this, this and this. What can I do that's a bit like that? And then I'll look at a recipe and think, well, I'll substitute such and such for whatever, and I'll just be experimental. And, it nearly always works out. I think the only inedible, it wasn't inedible, but it wasn't very edible thing I made was something that I got from one of Jack Monroe's books, which was her tin can cookbook. And it was horrible. I had to do so much of it to make it edible. And she's a professional cookery writer. So, she can make mistakes and do not very good meals sometimes. Then, I can have a go at doing what I want to do to create good, nutritious, simple, quick to prepare food that isn't going to cost the earth. Anyway, bit of a rant, bit of a going off at a tangent situation. I'm so glad it really is properly raining now, so I do not have to go out and water the garden. It does really need watering. So I'm going to get back, do a bit more of that office, go upstairs, do a bit of general cleaning, and then I'm going over to see my daughter this afternoon. So that is my day today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm, apparently. Don't really know how the algorithm works. I've got a rough idea. So apparently if you comment, if you give me likes, then YouTube are more likely to show my channel to other people that are interested in frugal channels. So helps my channel to grow. And I am really edging towards 10,000 subscribers. It has taken me a long time. I think on the back of my blog, shoestringcottage.com, I got a lot of subscribers quite quickly. I got about 5,000 quite quickly. And then it just has kind of stagnated, and over about 3 years it's grown to 9,100 and something. So it'd be lovely to get up to 10,000. So if you like, subscribe and share and tell other people that they could subscribe to my channel, might find it helpful. That's really, really helpful for me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, as I said, and I will see you on Wednesday for my frugal kitchen. See you then. Bye for now.